Hi, I'm Valerie Engelhart, and in this video I am painting at a coffee shop down on the Everett waterfront called the Muse. I love it. I'm testing out some Pastel Fuumuui watercolor paints. They're opaque, so they all have some white mixed in, and I think this set is called Macaron. And anytime I get a new thing of paints, usually I paint an iris to test it out, but this time I decided for roses. And I went with a yellow rose on top, a pink rose on the bottom, and gonna put in some leaves in various shades of green. I'm using just a Paul Rubens sketchbook, and I like that this one has perforated edges. And I have a travel brush with me, and this is a size 6 Skoda, but it is very soft and it is a very nice brush with a fine point, which means I only need to use one brush for this entire painting, because as long as I use the pressure of my brush correctly, I can cover wide areas or very thin areas. So for this, because it is a loose floral but with a more modern look, I am keeping things in kind of an illustrative composition and making things up as I go. So most of the paints in this set are, they're all pastel colors, so the darkest color I have is like a pastel purple. I usually paint with a wide range of values, but in this case, my darkest value is still like a mid-tone at best. Another difference is how these paints mix together. So it comes with quite a few colors, so I'm not really mixing for my colors, but I do love the watercolor look of dropping in a color and letting things fuse and merge organically. And so that's what I've done in a few spots there, where I would paint a leaf and then drop in a color. One thing I noticed with these paints is I preferred painting with a darker color and then dropping in a lighter color versus painting with the lighter color and dropping in the dark color. I noticed it in the leaves particularly. Any of the leaves that are that cooler viridian tone, and then I dropped in a more yellow-green or even a pink, I found I liked the effect better. And so now that those roses have dried, I'm able to put in the details of the rose using the tip of my brush. Now, yellow on yellow is not going to give you anything, so I went in with a pink. I figured, well, I've got a pink rose, let's do pink for the folds of the petals. And plus then we have like an upper rose that's mostly yellow with some pink, and then the lower rose that'll be mostly pink with some yellow. And just like I paint any of my other roses, I am just searching for shapes. I don't have a reference image. I've painted enough roses now that I kind of just know how they look. And so that is why it's great to like paint a subject over and over and over, because the more you paint it, the more familiar you get with it, and then you can just sit at the cafe and whip one out. It can be a little nerve-wracking when people are watching. I did have someone come over and was a little surprised because we're sitting at the waterfront and I wasn't painting a boat, I was just painting whatever roses were in my head. And, maybe next time I'll try painting a boat. But when testing, I usually default to flowers. So for this pink rose, I went with more of a purple tone to create those folds in the petals. But really all it started with was a blobby shape, and then I'm just going to go in and make it up as I go. Now, one thing I noticed about these paints is that even though they do have a lot of white pigment, they didn't lift as much as I expected them to. I figured with such a pastel color that they would lift really easily, and while there is some lifting after it dries, if I really want it to, it doesn't really. It will stay put. It doesn't bleed the same way as my other watercolors, so my technique of laying something down and softening it, it really is just something to get used to. But looking back at this, I really do like how pretty these roses look. I think I could have done more with my greenery, but this is a good start. and it's very different for me. I don't usually go for pastels. And so I would encourage you, whatever you usually like to paint, try something else. But make it, exciting for you. Otherwise, you're not going to want to do it. So why did I pick pastels? There are a lot of artists out there who do really great work, and they use these really whimsical, creamy, dreamy colors. And I always appreciate that. But just because you appreciate something doesn't mean you have to emulate it. But why not give it a try and just see how it feels? So I'm using some blue now, and I'm trying to negatively paint some veins, and it just was not working for me, but I liked the effect, I liked the texture it gave, so I would just do it on one side of the leaf and bleed it away. Now, since I did this composition in my head, I am at an angle, but I did keep this in an S curve. And just because an S curve is visually appealing, and because all of my edges are hard, I can scan this into my computer and maybe even try making a pattern from it. We'll just see how it goes. Not everything has to have a final product. And here's the finished painting. So if you liked this video, press that like button so I know to make more like this, and if you want to see more, subscribe because I make videos every Thursday. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!